I'm going for Jinro today, man.
I don't think that's a bad prediction, but betting against Alexei just feels sinful to me.
It is blasphemy, I think.
Special tactics toss is worse than betting against Braddock.
No.
White Raw won't come find you. He's got a posse of special tacticians that'll come do it for
White
him.
Raw can actually send Braddock. That's how powerful he is.
Braddock works for White Raw. He's like, hello boss, I'm back from mission.
Yeah, back in the Hoster Cup days, we were always making jokes that the meat that White Raw was barbecuing was actually collected by Braddock with his bare hands. And we did not know what kind of meat it was.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, Kev.
You ate it, right? White Raw's barbecue is pretty legendary, man.
I wasn't at the Home Story Cup where White Raw barbecued.
You missed out.
I was.
That's esports history right there.
That was before I made the big trip over to Europe, before we even knew each other.
Those good old days. Oh, just kidding, Ben. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Or at least one of the best things.
Oh, I'm so sad right now.
White Raw is, of course, our red Protoss spawning on the right side of Odyssey. And Liquid's Jinro is our yellow Terran. Sveriga, Swedish Terran, spawning in the left side. Jinro opening with a refinery ban. We've seen Jinro 1v1ing several times.
Yeah.
He tried to 1v1 against MC on Daybreak, and it looked really promising, but he was a bit too greedy, unsieging all 3 tanks at once, and just rolling up the high ground where Daybreak is, over here. Well, let's say it was over here because White respawned on the right side, at that little ramp, and then he kind of got out of position, and all the Zealots got within range of the Marines straight away. Well, I really felt Jinro could have got more out of that situation. So maybe we'll see that, but maybe it's just your favorite build in the whole wide world. It's Reaper Expand.
Oh, I hope so.
Or maybe it's just 1 Marine, 2 Marauder Expand, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Hellion or a Banshee opening.
The gas actually lines up nicely for a tech lab. What's it gonna be, Jinro? He makes a Marine first, so it might just be a factory opening. But yeah, in general, you were saying that that Jinro has been one-basing a bit. I think we might even be able to say that he's been a little bit frustrated with the PvT matchup.
That's true.
He was even making some posts in one of our threads a week or so ago after his loss against MC, which he was obviously very disappointed about.
Yeah, and also I liked it a lot how someone tried to analyze his playstyle and Jinro was like, no. And then he used some other words which I can unfortunately not repeat, but he was very outspoken about the knowledge of that person.
Jinro said, no, you are mistaken, sir. I feel that if you had done some more research, you might have been able to make a more educated analysis of the game. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it was lackluster at best.
Something along those lines.
Those were his exact words.
Yes, Jinro. Jinro's a good guy, man. Everybody likes Jinro. We see the second assimilator going down for White Raw, and Jinro did get a Scholar off, and this is pretty big, man, because 9 out of 10 Protosses like to go for that one gas fast expand. So I'm a little bit surprised. If people scout this against me, they know what I'm gonna do. They know it's for that Void Ray all-in. Now White Raw is not really particularly known for his Void Ray all-in, but we'll see. White Raw tries to get the scout off. He's gonna see there's no command center, but of course that command center could be at the high ground as well. Oh, but look at this. We see a Hellion being produced and a Starport.
Ah, maybe some Hellion drop. I was thinking that White Raw might be trying to fake Jinro out for a little bit, as he wasn't mining gas for a long time, but he has finally put some probes in that bottom assimilator. So oh, it's a robo opening.
Yeah, 1 gate robo. I'm pretty sure he's gonna warp a second and third gate in the near future. I'm pretty curious to see how this is gonna turn out. We've seen these Hellions openings quite a bit. Even Jinro doing it against MC on Daybreak, which I really love when he used an empty medevac to pull MC out of position. Meanwhile, we have a small micro battle going on.
Great micro by Jinro.
Yeah, both on either side, man.
Yep.
Look at White Raw.
White Raw doing awesome stuff. Just now, having lost the shield on that Stalker.
Yeah.
He's got to retreat now, though. As
White Raw, man.
Fire every time he stops.
He really wants a Marine. He wants to see blood. He wants first blood. Do you get a bonus for that, man? Oh, White Raw. Please keep microing your Stalker. Only 19 HP. Now he really took a little bit too much damage. But that's okay. There we do see those 2 additional gates being wiped in. He's going to open up with the Observer. We see the second refinery going down. And look at this Stalker, man. Where did this bad boy come from?
I have no idea. Maybe that was a weird rally.
Maybe he can pick up a Marine.
His warp gate's not even done yet, but no, he's not going to pick off a Marine. Jinro went back trying to find that Stalker, but he's not going to spot it. Tech Lab going down for the Starport, so we're going to see some 1-1-1 action.
Yep, but first he's going to do the 3 Hellion medevac thing.
He's going to do it the same way
and
as
I think,
he did before.
yep, exactly what we mentioned before. But I actually think so far this is really good for White Raw. We see him even warping in the robotics bay. White Raw does get a great scout off though, but he's going to lose this Stalker. That's a little bit unfortunate. Losing Stalkers in this phase of the game is expensive.
Warp Prism for Mr. Ra. Man, how does Warp Prism play out against 1-1-1?
Well, I think he's just going to use it the moment that Jinro walks out. He's going to drop 1 or 2 Zealots in the main base. But first he's going to have to deal with these Hellions, man. There are not that many units. Now the Stalkers are trying to get in position. But I think Jinro will get quite a few probe kills.
Yep, he's already gotten a couple. There's a third probe kill, 4 even. And, well, no, the Stalkers are going to eventually clean this up. But 6 workers killed in total. Is that going to really be enough to justify that investment? Is the medevac still alive? Yes, it is. So 3 Hellions for 6 probes. Ooh. That's actually a pretty cost-even trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's cost even. I would still say that it's okay for Jinro because he has a worker advantage right now. But White Ra is going to try to return the favor. He's going to arrest the mineral line of Jinro. Jinro has a Banshee in his main base right now. Jinro was aware of this Observer and White Ra was aware of the Banshee. Interesting, man. Now we do see a Colossus. In general, I really like Colossus against 1-1-1, but you do have to micro properly.
Yeah, most Protoss players these days use the Immortals to deal with this kind of play, but...
Yeah, that's mostly because we cannot afford a Colossus, and that's because the attack is a little bit delayed because you go for an expand.
Yeah,
something that White Ra didn't do this time. He did see the Warp Prism with his Banshee. Well, it's only Stalkers, White Ra. There's really no reason to be all that afraid. If I were Jinro, I would really try to pick up the Warp Prism rather than anything else. Oh, Jinro, White Ra's playing with fire, man.
Yeah, it's kind of some strange.
He's dangerous.
There, yeah. He can be... Man, I just can't speak today, Kev. I was going to say White Ra can be my wingman any day.
White was a little bit low on gas. He could warp in a few Zealots or maybe even a Nexus. What are you going to do, White Ra? White Ra's going to warp in... I think he's just going to retreat with these. He's going to leave the sentry here.
I mean, neither player has any expansion intentions, it seems. It's just one base until it's time to fight, and then we'll see where the chips fall.
Small mistake here by Jinro, having 4 SCVs in this bottom refinery, but I'm going to forgive him for that, man. We're close an eye. We did not see that. I did not just mention that.
White Ra still just sitting back, producing Colossi. He's also getting that Thermal Lance upgrade. Of course, on one base, you don't have the gas for much more than that, which is why we see him warping in mostly Zealots.
This is going to be really interesting, Ben. We're going to see 2 Banshees on the right side of the map. We're going to see that Warp Prism here. The tank is here, though. They're actually going to damage. He's going to drop on top of the tank. No, he's not going to drop it all.
Marines there. Warp Prism's going to lose some shields, but will escape unharmed.
Jinro didn't really decide to send in his Banshees. Interesting.
Weird game.
Yeah. This feels like a beta game where both players are really afraid to expand.
It's like TVP on Steps of War.
Yes. Because if you expand and he lowers the depose, he straight away might expand. Man, Steps of War. Protoss was staring. I got really mad at this game. You know what I always did? I went for the secret expand on the high ground behind the rocks. Because nobody ever scouted. It was so good. I felt way ahead of the meta game.
What did you do? Drop a probe with a Warp Prism?
No. Like, I mean, I would just send it. Because you could, like, let's say your expand was here. Like, your main base here, natural here.
You're talking about the gold base?
No. And then you go here to the left side. No, gold base was in the corner. But there was only one rock.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. The third.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. But there was also rocks in the corners.
Only one. There was only one rock. It was the only rock which was close to your natural. The other entrance was free. I promise you. I remember.
Yeah, but wasn't there another base behind the gold base that was blocked by rocks?
Yeah. No, that one was there.
That's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, that one was really good. I wasn't that good, man.
That's too smart.
Yeah. Don't think I've been doing that.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen Steps of War.
They've been using it in the IPL World Map soon, man. I mean, White Ra is going to have a tough time. Oh, his Warp Prism is going to take a little bit of damage. I like this by Jinro. With 3 Banshees, he's going to have so much DPS, and there are not that many Stalkers. He's going to pick up the Sentry. This is good for Jinro, because White Ra will not be able to achieve anything with these Colossus, not against this amount of siege tanks. I love the read by Jinro, by the way, because I really think that originally he might want to do 1-on-1, but when he saw that White Ra didn't expand, he wasn't stubborn and still tried to 1-on-1. He's like, alright, I'm just going to sit back. I know I killed some probes. I'm in very good economic shape right now, and he's just going for the expand on his own. Maybe that was his plan after all. Of course, I cannot look into his head, but I think that's just an adjustment that he made in the game.
A great adjustment to make against a one-basing player. As we can see, Jinro does have a healthy worker lead. Yeah, he's also got that second command center done. It's already morphed into an orbital. And White Ra, he's secured his natural, but he's so far down on probes. He's 10 workers behind. It's going to be very tough for him to catch up.
It's quite an investment going for 3 Colossus, and I really like the amount of Banshees that Jinro has. Oh, there's a Raven as well, so that Observer from White Ra will get picked off straight away. Everything is going Jinro's way. I think Jinro is really pleased with how this game goes out. I hope he transfers a ton of SCVs, and yeah, 16.
Enough to saturate.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yep, and he'll even be able to drop his mules there. Of course, he's not going to want to drop any more in his main. Once these last 2 expire.
Yep, and he's been mining a lot from his main since he had a lot of workers and barely took any economical damage throughout the entire game.
White Ra playing with fire a little bit, pokes forward, takes a volley from the gets the one Viking and then backs up. At the same time, he is dropping in the main, though. Look at these Zealots trying to hack up some Marines, but Jinro spread out his units pretty well. He looks pretty drop-proof.
And on the same moment, White is going to try to push once more at the front. He's going to do quite some damage to this one tank, but Jinro is just too well positioned right now. Love this tank. I love the backup tank. Everything that Jinro does so far works for him. This drop from White did pick off a tank, but that's pretty much it. Does not justify 3-4 Zealots and a Warp Prism. If you take a look at units lost resources, we see White lost a little bit more, but of course, more importantly, Jinro has been mining a lot more throughout the entire game. So Jinro is in really good shape.
Yeah, he's in great shape, and it's just improving as we can see. He's kind of reaping the benefits of this better economy. The supplies are very close for a long time. Now there's starting to be some separation. And I'm not really sure what White Rock can do from this position. It looks like he's going to try and sneak a third base.
He needs to save time. That's something he definitely needs to do. I do like that he's adding 1 or 2 Immortals now, because Immortals, of course, they have so much DPS against these siege tanks. But look at all these Banshees, man. We have 5 Banshees. That's insane amount of DPS for Jinro. Army supply 73 against 64. And as silly as it sounds, despite 4 Colossus, I really think Jinro has more DPS in his army.
And there's also not an observer with this army, Kev. I don't know if Jinro has gotten close.
No, he doesn't have it.
That's really too bad.
Yeah, certainly with that Raven. It's going to siege up right now. White Rock going to try to pick off a few Marines, but look at the amount of damage that he's taken.
Oh man, those Banshees just ripping through everything on the ground right now. The Colossi trying to come forward, but with Banshees, siege tanks, and Vikings, they're not getting a whole lot done. The last Colossus will fall. Now it's Marines and tanks against just Stalkers, and that's a very nice push from Jinro.
Yeah, White Rock actually did quite well there for a little while, but I felt he stayed around a little bit too long. There's no reason to lose those 3-4 additional Stalkers. Once Protoss is behind, what do you do to come back, man? You wipe in a Dark Shrine. That's exactly what White Rock does right now. But I don't think it's ever going to get really into play. He did pick up the Raven, and of course Jinro used his point defense drone. So that's going to help White Rock a little bit, but what can he possibly do against those 3 siege tanks?
I don't know if the Dark Shrine's going to finish before he dies. Jinro's still pushing forward. He's reinforcing right across the middle of the map. It's 102 supply against 70. And, well, he's going to slow it down. Slow push.
I like that. I mean, he's getting bonkers because he has because he doesn't have that many Marines. He has quite a few, but he doesn't know what White Rock has. He doesn't have the vision that we have. And if he would end up losing all the Marines, then of course a couple of Zealots can take out those tanks. So I love how careful Jinro is right now. He knows that this game has been going well for him. He's still up 17 army supply. I think Jinro played this game perfect.
He's now completely mined out his main. White Rock hasn't quite achieved that just yet, but Jinro does have that natural fallback on. He still has all those mules. It's 120 supply to about 80 at this point, so a 40 supply lead for the Terran player. Army supply is a little bit closer, 68 to 46.
The Dark Shrine is pretty much ready though. Be careful with those Colossus, White Rock. He really wants to get that one siege tank. He does get it, but at what cost? He's losing a Colossus, lost the Immortal.
Yeah, that's White Rock can't afford to trade like that. He's never going to be able to bust out doing that. But here come the DTs, and I don't know if Jinro has enough energy for scans, Kev. He's got, no, he does have actually 3 scans. So he's going to be fine.
Does he have an engineering ray? I don't think he does. Nope, just starts building one. So that's going to buy White Rock at least a little bit of time. He knows as soon as Jinro runs out of scans, Jinro can't really push anymore. And we have 2 DTs making their way over. Oh, raise the depot. Jinro does not raise the depot.
Doesn't happen. He was looking somewhere else on the map, and so now there is a DT in the main. Unfortunately, there's not much there for him to kill.
White Rock.
Jinro pushing forward into the natural, though, and White Rock's got these Colossi on the high ground, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, Kev. So many Marines streaming down for the Liquid Terran. DT hacking away at his siege tanks. I don't think he's up there. He sees it and does deal with it, but White Rock's natural is just getting ransacked right now. It looks like Jinro's going to take this first game.
Yep, Raven is almost out as well. Picks up the remaining Colossus of White Rock. Only 53 supply left. For a lovely Ukrainian Protoss, wipes in one more DT. That DT will be able to have quite some fun with these Marines, but the damage that White Rock took is just too much already.
Look at these SCVs in Jinro's mineral line, or in White Rock's mineral line, just wrecking all the probes. Those are battle SCVs, man. This is not what I signed up for.
I'm doing pretty good. Starting to like it. Can I do this more often, boss? Can I come back as a tour? Yes, you can if we win this game. White Rock only at 28 supply. Jinro still at 96. Throws down that final scan. Picks up that Dark Templar as well. White Rock doesn't have gas anymore for additional DTs. And White Rock calls GG. Pretty much a perfect game by Liquid Jinro, man.
Yeah, very nicely done there. And I think the real key is the one you pointed out very early in the game. Jinro opened up as if he wanted to be very aggressive off of one base. But then he saw that White Raw was still one basing, and he didn't force the issue. He just said, okay, well, then I guess we're kind of even since we're both basically doing the same thing, and just sat back, waited, kept producing SCVs, which is a big deal. Because when he finally did have a natural expand, he had a worker lead.
Exactly. And I mean, that marks a great play, being able to adapt in the game. You see what you see, and then, all right, my original plan might not be that effective right now. I'm just going to switch things up. If this is one base versus one base, and I start at the command center, I'm going to be just fine. That push, normally against any sort of bio army, that push of White Raw was really scary. But since Jinro had siege tanks, and he positioned them beautifully, everything worked out for him. I loved it.
Yeah,
Great game by Jinro.
Beautiful play. We've got a little bit of a replay from that action just to highlight what we some of the stuff we were talking about. Here we see Jinro pushing down on White Raw. Look at the DPS.
Yeah, look at that splash damage them. All those Colossus taking so much damage. But still, White Raw did quite well. We have that Immortal in front working on siege tanks. I love that. But on this moment, I felt that White Raw should have come back, because right now he doesn't really achieve anything anymore.
Once the Colossi are out of the equation, he's just losing units. And keeping Stalkers around to fight against tanks and Marines, never going to be a good fight.
No.
And Jinro, after winning that fight, you know, the game was within his grasp. The only real way for him to lose would have been if he had no means of detecting the Dark Templar.
Or if he had 3/3 Stalkers with Blink. I think then he would have been pretty good. But that would have been quite a surprise. It's like a one base game for 12 minutes, suddenly you face 3/3 Stalkers with Blink. It's like, what? My Marines have 1-0, that's unfair.
White Raw's actually got both like side expansions that haven't been scouted yet.
White Raw pulled a real. It's like 8 army supply 9 minutes into the game. As again, referring to a game of IEM a long time ago, where Cass kept doing the same build, and Real was like, okay, if you want to go, you want to sit back, play an economic game, you're going triple orbital, and you never move out until you have 150 supply. That's all right. Real literally went Gateway, Gas, Nexus, Dark Templar. Right? Had 8 army supply.
Come on now, we have to be fair. He went Gateway, Nexus, Gas, Stalker, Nexus, and then didn't do anything else until the TTs are out.
And it worked perfect, because Cass just did not move out, did not adapt to what his opponent was doing, did not even scout. Yeah, that one Stalker, of course, really good in preventing scouts. But no, Jinro adapting really well to White Raw's playstyle, and perfect game by our Swedish Terran, Ben.
Great play there by Jinro. That game was brought to you guys by Kingston HyperX. Check them out at kingston.com. Pick up an SSD like this one.
It was the Kingston match to remember.
Really?
No.
Oh, man.
I just wanted to say it one time, because I never get to say it. I want to say it, man. Don't make me say it.
Say it again.
The Kingston match to remember.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Quick commercial break, folks, and then we'll be back with Game 2, White Raw versus Jinro.